I may not remember if my best friend slept with my husband, but you'll never forget me. Hey everybody, welcome to my channel. I am Raphael and I am here to review episode 11 of The Real Housewives Sleeping with Peter's Ex-Girlfriends of Potomac. So we start the episode off at Giselle's house, and already I had to adjust my eyeballs to what I was looking at because they give us a view from the front of the house. And if we all remember, Giselle's house is not the best house to look at. It's not too easy on the eyes. So already I'm trying to make sense of what I'm looking at. Portion of her house looks like a trapezoid. The other portion of her house looks like a hexagon. The middle portion of her house looks like a rectangle. What happens when you put all three shapes together? Giselle's house. And I just kept thinking, with Christmas being around the corner, what happens when Santa Claus flies into Potomac to deliver her and her daughter's Christmas gifts? He's probably pulling up to her house like, ho, 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 hold the fuck up. What is this? Where's the chimney? Where's the front door? How do I get in to deliver the gifts? But, regardless of whatever way everybody else feels about her house, Giselle, she's a homeowner and, congratulations to her. If she likes it, I love it. So Karen shows up, and I believe that this is the first time that she's been to Giselle's house since last season at the Reasonably Delusional event that Robin and Giselle both hosted at Giselle's house. So Karen, she's walking in. Giselle looks so pretty with the dark blonde hair. Karen, she's looking around the whole house like it's some type of museum. Like, oh, Giselle, this looks so nice. I can't believe you have a ceiling. You have a fridge. You have a couch. You have a kitchen. You have a bathroom. Wow, this looks so nice. And I'm like, yes, Karen, it's called a house. So Giselle, she's giving her a tour around the whole around the whole house. And, for the most part, I will give this to Giselle's house. Giselle's house is very unpredictable. 1 second you could be in the living room and then you walk over to the next room and you get whiplash from all the tacky decoration. But it could be tacky, but is it bad that I kind of like it? So they sit down and Karen tells Giselle that she feels so bad that she couldn't make it to the Sweet 16, but she's here to make up for it because she has some gifts for Angel and Adore. So they come out, Karen, she has these 2 Gucci bags for them, these tiny Gucci bags for them, right? So she gives it to them and they're opening it up and I'm like, okay, what's going on? I had to get close to the screen. I'm like, wait a minute, I can't see what the gift is. Zoom in, what's going on? What's the gift? That's it, Karen, that's what you got? Some cheap ass bracelets? I know it's a gift and all, but, I just expected more from, the Grand Dame herself. I just expected a more Grand Dame-ish gift. And I'm like, oh, that's it? Charisse would never. But, it's the thought that counts. So if they like it, it's okay. So eventually they leave. Giselle and Karen, they sit down by themselves. And already Giselle, she was just like, okay, Karen, so we have 25 minutes to produce a scene. So did you hear about Mia and Jacqueline supposedly sharing some dick? I'm like, damn, Giselle already getting down to the point. But she was just like, okay, it's time to gossip. So did you hear about Mia, your best friend? Karen, she was just like, oh, well, you know what? I really love Mia. I love that Mia, as a person, she takes accountability for her own actions. And I'm like, yes and no. I do agree to a certain extent because Mia, if somebody calls her out on it, she'll admit it. Like, yeah, I lied. I did this. I did that. It is what it is. It's whatever. The only thing, though, that I'm holding her to is just that, she hasn't admitted that she was wrong in this whole situation between her and Wendy. Eventually, Giselle was just like, oh, back in Miami when we were, getting ready and stuff, I went outside. I looked up and it was your friend getting buck wild in the jacuzzi. Do y'all know that reference? What movie that's from? But she was just like, oh yeah, no, I went outside and I saw Mia, Jacqueline, they were in the shower and they were, if you know what I'm saying. And we were in the car and supposedly, you didn't hear this from me, you heard it from Robin, but supposedly Mia was telling me that she had a boyfriend, his dick was so good that Jacqueline, she had to try it and Mia was just letting her do it or whatever. They were sharing boyfriends at this point. Karen, she was just like, what? No, you can't, are you serious? What, Mia? Mia and Jacqueline? Mia, my friend Jacqueline? No, I can't believe this. Meanwhile, in the confessional, the producers, they're asking Karen, so Karen, what do you think about the house? What do you think about, Giselle's house? Karen, she was just like, well, I love the chandelier. So Karen tells Giselle, do you think that Jacqueline and Mia, do you think that they're still doing this between each other? Do you think that they're still sharing men between each other? Do you think that they're even possibly even sharing Mia's husband at this point? Giselle was just like, I don't know, good question, but you know what? I'm gonna get to the bottom of this. And Giselle will. So then Giselle, she was just like, oh yeah. She also mentioned something about, oh, Mia, she's gonna be a bad friend if supposedly Jacqueline pulls up and she has no car. And you know, I mean, if Mia, if you think that you're a bad friend because she's not pulling up in a nice car, then I don't know what type of friend you are for letting your friend go to Miami with no deodorant. Like, where are the standards here? Like, what kind of friendships are we talking about? And, you know, Giselle, you know, I know Giselle gets dragged every other season for being in people's relationships or being in other people's business. But this is the one time where I'm actually giving you a pass, Giselle, because I actually want to know, too, what's going on between, you know, Mia, Jacqueline, and even possibly Gordon. You know, I mean, we find out later a couple of more things, but, you know, and they can do whatever they want. But still, I want to know. Then we flash over to a hospital and I'm thinking, okay, what's going on? What's happening? Next thing you know, we see Wendy in a wheelchair and she's being pulled into a room. They lay her down on a bed and she's with her husband, Eddie. He's recording the whole thing on his phone and he's asking her how she's feeling, what's going on. He's trying to get her to talk, right? He's a little worried because Wendy started telling him that her kidney stone started hurting. And I'm not too familiar with what a kidney stone is, but from what I have heard is that it's a very, very, very painful experience to go through. And there's not much you can really do besides just kind of wait it out and wait till they come out your body naturally. Again, don't quote me on that because I'm not too familiar with what that is. But Wendy, she lets us know that her kidney stones have gotten so big to the point where now she can't wait around any longer for them to just come out naturally. She requires surgery and she's just laying in bed. She's emotionally and physically just drained. And again, I can only imagine the type of pain that her body is going through and her mental health too is going through. And Eddie, he's trying to be there for her and trying to get her to talk, even if it's just a couple of words. And again, it was just so sad to see her in that state of mind. Eventually, the last thing that we see of Wendy is her being pushed into the surgery room in her bed, and that was that. So then we head over to Ashley's house, and she's with baby Dylan. He's walking around the whole entire condo, and I'm like, wait a minute, wasn't he just born like 2-3 episodes ago? How is he walking already? Like, I get it that babies develop at their own time, but it's just crazy to me to see him walking already. But Ashley, she's showing him how to clean around the house, how to vacuum, you know, because that's what she's used to on the show. All she does is clean up Michael's mess season after season after season. So now she's passing it down to her sons. So then we see Daisy, her nanny. She walks in with baby Dean. And if I was Daisy, the second I would have seen the cameras recording me, I would have yelled, cut, 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 get the camera out of my face. Ashley, I do not want to be a part of this show. Or if you are going to have me part of the show, at least blur out my face, because I see what they're saying about your friend Deborah online and it's not looking too pretty. So I do not want to be the next victim. I mean, do y'all see what they're saying about Deborah on Twitter? I mean, it's not looking good for the next episode for her. So if Daisy was to take extra precaution for herself, I wouldn't blame her. But then Ashley, all of a sudden, she's in love again with Michael. And she was like, Daisy, let me tell you about Michael. So Michael, he found the house. I think he found me a house, and I don't know. I think I just might call off this whole divorce. Oh, no, wait, I can't reveal that yet until the reunion or until season 8. But yeah, no, Michael, he found me this beautiful house, and you know, I think he's gonna put a down payment on it, and I'm just so happy. I love the house. It's so beautiful, like it really is. And again, if I was Daisy, I would have told Ashley, first of all, Ashley, I'm just here to babysit. That's it. I'm here to change shitty diapers, not to talk about your shitty ex-husband or current husband or current whatever you want to call it. You know, I'm just here to do that. If you want to talk about Michael, that's going to be extra. So Ashley, she continues on and she was like, you know, Michael, he got me this house and everything. And it's just, I don't know. Daisy, why are you rolling your eyes? Are you rolling your eyes? Do you want to get fired? Okay, keep listening. But I don't know. I mean, I don't know how me and him are going to work. I mean, do I give him a room in the house? Do I not? Like, what do you think? And I'm thinking, Ashley, you're the one that told us a couple of episodes ago that you're having coochie cravings. That you're having coochie cravings for Michael. So there's your answer right there. If anything, that's not even your decision. Michael is going to have a room or he's going to have the biggest say in this whole house because it's one, his money, I'm guessing. Two, it's under his name and he's going to be in control of this whole house. And again, the fact that you think that you're going to have any type of say-so in like Doja Cat, if you're going to have any type of say-so in this whole house situation, like, oh, that's cute, but it's probably not going to happen. And like I've been saying, I do wonder because she has been dating that guy, Luke, from the other show on Bravo or whatever. I do wonder if Michael is going to allow him to be in the house or whatever, you know, in front of like near the kids or whatever. I don't see Michael personally doing that or accepting that. We then see Robin and Giselle meeting up at this theater where they're gonna have their live show from for their podcast, Reasonably Delusional, which is 2 days away, which I thought wasn't the smartest thing on their part to be looking at the space for the first time just 2 days away before their actual live event. I mean, so many things could go wrong, but for the most part, the space, it looks nice and spacious. It's huge. There's so many seats. Robin, she's a little worried that they might not sell out every single seat, which is understandable, especially after the Miami trip. But I mean, they can't expect every single seat to be sold out on their very first show. I mean, the audience doesn't even know what they're getting themselves into. All they know is that Giselle and Robin are going to be there. And I mean, that's not something really good to look forward to. So just kidding, Robin and Giselle. I would go to support your show if you were somewhere local or if you were in a city near me. But I actually like seeing Giselle and Robin taking their podcast seriously and seeing them doing something like when it comes to business and, you know, taking it up a notch instead of just going out to dinner and just gossiping and being messy, or Giselle being in people's marriages and stuff, blah, blah, blah. It's nice to see them getting a different side on the show for once, you know, at least even though it only probably going to last for like 5 minutes. So eventually Giselle, she wants to talk business backstage. So they go backstage to sit down. Giselle, she's telling Robin, so is Juan going to show up? And I'm like, wait a minute, Juan showing up to the event? Another episode? Wow, Robin must have changed her contract from last season to this season. She probably told Andy, okay, you have to tell Juan that he has to appear in at least 6 episodes instead of just 1. Because we're getting a lot of Juan Dixon this season. I'm like, wow, you know, they must have been paying him a lot to show up. Because you know he wouldn't do it willingly. So then Robin, she was just like, he told me that he's gonna show up. I think I'm not too sure. He's showing up. Who's Juan? Robin always gets so stiff and nervous every time somebody mentions Juan. It's like she has to think on the spot, like, okay, I need to pull out all these lies out of my ass. So then Giselle was just like, okay, Robin, so that's enough talking about business. So let's see, let me look at my calendar. So I'm seeing here that my calendar, I'm pretty free right now. Like, I'm not booked or anything. So when's the wedding? And all I kept thinking of was that meme of the Spider-Man, of 2 Spider-Mans pointing fingers at each other. I'm like, now, isn't this how does the quote say? The pot calling the kettle black. I'm like, what, Giselle? I know you're not questioning when somebody else is getting married, because Robin, if I was you, I would have told Giselle. So when are you getting married? When are you going to get a man? We both would have been looking at each other like... But Robin was just like, the wedding, it should be, the wedding, so anyways, she has no answers whatsoever. She's talking about the prenup. I'm like, Robin, please just give it a rest already with these prenups. And speaking of business, we see Candace filming her new music video to her new song, Insecure. So she's on set, she's getting ready, she looks good in her red outfit, they're calling her on set, she's laying down on this huge car. Next thing you know, we see Trina. I'm like, wow, this is Trina's second appearance on this show this season. She's officially a friend of at this point. I mean, can you imagine if they actually made Trina a housewife for next season? I feel like her tagline will probably be something like this. Look back at you for what? I'm trying to concentrate on busting me a nut. And I love seeing Candace taking her music career seriously and telling Trina, thank you so much for being in my song, in my music video, for just being here with me. I appreciate that. I thought that was sweet. Another thing I would also love to see is if somehow Candace and Trina perform their song at the reunion. I feel like it'll be a good look for Candace. On top of that, I would also like to see Trina sitting on the couch with the rest of the housewives. I bet you Mia won't be throwing drinks at the baddest bitch then. So then we head over to Robin's house and she's in the kitchen. Next thing you know, we see Juan and I'm like, okay, here we go. Let me buckle up for this awkward conversation. So they're talking about this alleged marriage, right? That is allegedly happened, allegedly sometime in the alleged future. I'm gonna have to start using allegedly because I don't want to be spreading lies about a wedding that's never gonna happen. Allegedly. So Robin, she's there. Juan, he already looks annoyed and Juan is telling Robin, look, I'm just here to film because Andy, he promised me $6,000 on my next paycheck. So I'm just here for that. So what do you have to say? So then Robin, she was just like, this wedding, right, bro? Like, I'm so excited for this, bro. Right, dude? Like, we're gonna get married, right? And Juan is just like, yeah, I mean, if that's what you want or whatever, I guess, right? So then Robin, she was just like, yeah, but I was thinking, maybe we should pick out, can you not film this? Like, I don't want to film anymore. We still have to film? Okay. I was just thinking that maybe we should pick a date or something. Like, what were you thinking? So then Juan, he was just like, um, yeah, whenever. I don't really care. You pick a date. Like, I don't really care anyway. I'm just in this for the money. So whenever you want. So then Robin, she was just like, okay, bro. The next thing I wanted to know is if are you okay with, I mean, I talked to the lawyer and everything, and I was thinking that maybe we should get like a infidelity clause. That's when Juan woke up. Juan was just like, wait a minute, activate turbo mode. He was like, what the fuck are you talking about? And I do not like when Juan raises his voice to Robin, no matter how everybody could feel about Robin. I do not like when Juan raises his voice to her and like kind of like belittles her every single time. Like, he's always upset with her. So rude and disrespectful. He was just like, what are you talking about? Like, what? And then Robin, she's trying to make her case. She was just like, well, I mean, it kind of happened before. And people nowadays, they're always cheating and everything and stuff. Juan, he was just like, we're not that fucking people. We're not those people. What are you talking about? And I'm just like, relax. Like, oh, oof, you're so angry in my Lisa Rinna voice. Like, calm the fuck down. Like, I'm just asking you a question. This wedding is not even gonna happen. So what are you so upset about? So Robin, she went on in her confessional to say, this did happen 10 years ago in our first marriage, blah, 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 all this and all that. And, I just feel like Robin, I feel like something behind the scenes that we don't know, that Juan is creeping behind her back or doing something behind her back or cheating or something. What happened to those alleged scandals that Juan was just a part of a couple of weeks ago? Did that kind of just went away? Like, what happened with that? Anybody know? But I just feel like Robin, I just wish that she would have just told Juan right then and there, look, Juan, the reason I'm bringing up infidelity is because I know about the bitch that you're cheating on me with behind my back. I saw the text messages. I just wish that she was more upfront about it, but she keeps beating around the bush like, oh yeah, infidelity. And again, like I said, people could feel whatever way they feel about Robin. I just feel like she's too good for him and that she should just give him the boot and stay with the big ass house. We then see Wendy coming back home from the hospital and she's getting out the truck, and I'm looking at her like, wait a minute, this is not the same way Wendy looked like when she went into the hospital the first time around. Now she comes out and she has a brand new bob cut, she has jewelry on her wrist, Chanel earrings, a black jumpsuit. If she would have came out that black truck wearing high heels, I would have screamed. I'm like, what kind of hospital did she go to? Obviously, I need to go to the same one to do some shopping. But, regardless, whatever way she feels comfortable doing or getting out the hospital, it's her way of doing. Who am I to say anything, right? So she's getting there. She's slowly getting on the couch. Then we see her mom. Her mom is there. Her mom is trying to, get her together and everything. Same way with her daughter, Cameron. Her daughter, Cameron, was so adorable. She was like patting her on the shoulder, like trying to, be like, oh, mom, are you okay? Are you okay? Is everything okay? It's so adorable to see. Her mom is actually taking care of her and everything and being nice, surprisingly, because, the last time that we saw her mom, I believe last season or the season before that, the relationship between her and her mom is just not the best, or at least in my eyes. So she's trying to be there for her. Next thing you know, she offers Wendy something to eat. She was like, Wendy, do you want a pork chop? Now, me, I would have said yes. And I would have also said yes when she was like, oh, you need something to drink too. How about some red wine? I would have been like, yes, mom, yes, please, 2 cups. But Wendy, she was just looking at her like, Mom, no, I just went through surgery. She just got out of surgery. They took the kidney stones out and everything. So she can't be eating pork chops or even wine. Like, no. But then the mom is just like, oh, I know better. I know. I think that she says she's a doctor or a nurse. I forgot what she said, but she knows better, right? So she was like, oh, it's fine. Everything is going to be okay. So eventually she sits down to talk to Wendy. She was like, Wendy, you really need to slow down your lifestyle. Again, I was shocked because when Wendy told her the first time around, like, I don't want to be a doctor anymore, I believe her mom was disappointed and was like, how dare you? Like, I worked all my life or whatever, and now you don't want to do this? Now you want to go into the candle business or whatever? So I was actually shocked to see the mom agreeing with Wendy, like, yeah, you need to slow down your life. I thought she was going to say, oh, well, by tomorrow, you already need to get back to work. That's that. So then Wendy, she shared, something that she told us earlier this season. And she was like, I always saw you, Mom, always working every single day, no matter what, through everything, through stress, through life and everything. And I took that onto myself, and I need to break that type of cycle. I need to break that. And again, her mom agreed, which I was shocked about because I thought in her mind, she wants her daughter to just work, and give her all the praise and give her all the money for making her this success or whatever. Again, at least that's what I got from their relationship. She also says that she doesn't want her daughter, Cameron, to follow in the same footsteps. So hopefully Wendy does break that cycle in the near future. And, this is a bigger eye-opener that she needs to put herself and her body and her mental health first before, her career or whatever. Like, her career will always be her career. She'll always have all these different doors to open from and to get money from and everything. But again, all of that is pointless if you are not in the best condition for yourself. Karen heads over to Mia's house, and I did not expect this conversation to go the way it did, but it did. So they sit down to talk, and the spirit of Giselle took over Karen's body because Karen, she started being messy with Mia. She was just like, so Mia, I heard a couple things between me and Giselle. Me and her, we talked, and I heard a couple things between you and Jacqueline that both of you like to take showers together. Is that true? What's going on with that? Are you two lovers? Like, do you like screwing each other? What's going on with that? What do you guys do between each other? And I'm like, damn, Karen, you just got into the house. Can you at least ask, like, how are the kids doing? I love the decor in the house. I love your couch and everything. Let's sip some wine or whatever. Like, she jumped right into it straight away. Mia, already, she was just like, Karen, yeah, like me and Jacqueline, like we love to take showers together and everything. And no, we're not lovers or anything. We play around every now and then, but we don't really do like the stuff like that. Like we're promiscuous, but we're not like that. So then Karen, she was just like, no, that's a little bit too vague. I want specific answers. So she was just like, Mia, no, that's not what I'm asking. I'm asking between you and Jacqueline, what exactly do you do? Do you kiss? Do you screw? Do you screw each other's mens? What's going on here? What's happening between both of you? And I'm like, wow, it's like seeing Giselle 2.0. So Mia, even though Mia is very upfront about her life and she has no skeletons that she's kind of hiding or anything. She's pretty upfront for the most part or whatever. I feel like she was trying very careful to pick her answers, to not say anything or slip up and say, oops, I fucked Peter. Oops. She was just like, when I was trying to be a gynecologist, me and Jacqueline, we were play doctor and everything when we were 19 or 20. And I had my flashlight, so I was inspecting inside her. And I'm like, what? You were doing what with a flashlight with Jacqueline? You were inspecting her what? At 19 and 20 because you wanted to be a doctor? Now, I'm not a doctor or anything, but I'm pretty sure that they don't teach you to do that in college, right? Or in doctor school. I'm pretty sure that the professors don't tell you, everybody has to, they have to pick a buddy. You have to pick a buddy and you have to go home and work on this project and you have to inspect each other's bodies, like with flashlights. I'm pretty sure, I don't think that it's done like that. Unless anybody in the comments, if anybody's a doctor, please let me know if that's true. I was shocked. So then Karen, she was just like, interesting. So Giselle told me more about you and Jacqueline, that, supposedly like you had a boyfriend or whatever and you let Jacqueline like have sex with him or whatever. Now, do you and Gordon do that with other people? Like, do you and Gordon have sex with other people? Mia, she was upfront about it. She was just like, yeah, me and Gordon, we have sex with other people. Like, what about it? So then Karen, she asked a magical question. She was just like, have you and Gordon ever had sex with Peter? And Mia, she was just like, no, we never had sex with Peter, but we did have sex with Peter's girlfriend. And I'm like, what? Peter. For a second, I'm like, please don't let it be Cynthia Bailey. Like, that is crazy. You mean to tell me, like, you and Gordon had sex with Peter's girlfriend? Like, what? Allegedly, I do feel like she probably did mess around with Peter, but she just doesn't want to put that out there because I'm assuming that, maybe people will look at her wrong or whatever. Whatever she did or not, but, Karen was just like, oh my, well, okay, well, that's all I needed to know. I'm gonna go now, okay? I'm like, wow, so you get to her house, you grill her with all these questions, and then you get all the answers, and you're like, okay, well, time to go. And then Karen goes on to say, so that explains why Mia was so triggered in Miami. She threw the drink on Wendy the second that Wendy was just like, you were fucking Peter. Is that why you're so upset? Blah, blah, blah. There must be some truth to it. Now, I do wonder why Mia does not have the same reaction that she did with Wendy towards Giselle. You see, Giselle is kind of spreading all your information, even though you put it out there on camera. You see that she was obviously gossiping about you and Jacqueline, all these allegations, to Karen behind your back, yet you're not going to have the same reaction that you did with Wendy. I don't think that you're going to throw a drink in Giselle's face now, are you? We finally get to Robin and Giselle's live show at this high school auditorium. Everybody's coming in one by one. We see Angel and Adore. They got the merch table going on. Karen, she pops up with Ray, her husband. They're taking pictures. Candace in the confessional, they ask her, oh, why are you not showing up to support? She goes on to say that Giselle does not deserve any of her support at all, which is understandable. So then we see Ashley, she shows up. I believe Mia, she also shows up with her representative, aka her assistant, aka her Pokemon, Jacqueline. And then we see Charisse. So the show's about to begin in 8 minutes, so everybody's taking their seats. Karen was the biggest hater from the very beginning of this whole entire live show to the very end. I mean, I get it that you could be shady, you could have your comments here and there, like maybe once or twice, but the entire show, she had nothing nice to say about the whole entire show. It was just negative critique after negative critique. I mean, some of them were funny though, because she did say, oh, I mean, the show's about to start in 8 minutes, so, they need to fill up these seats. But, it's nice to know that everybody here is comfortable because they all have like 20 seats in between them. I'm like, now, Karen, why are you such a hater? Like, with that being said, why was it so empty though? No, I'm kidding. It's their first show, so it's fine. And besides, it was a good amount of crowd, inside the auditorium. There was a good crowd. There was a lot of people. So the show's about to start. So eventually we have this comedian, right? He's on stage and he's about to, present Robin and Giselle to come out. And he was just like, okay, so coming out first, we have Robin Bryant. I'm like, oh no, this is a mess. I feel like that was done on purpose to get a laugh because I'm pretty sure that he wouldn't fuck up the name that badly. But Karen, she brings out a notepad. She starts writing, oh no, this is not what I'm gonna have in my show. I'm not gonna have any drunk host. So Robin and Giselle come out, and I thought that their entrance was pretty cute, especially the way they were running on stage. Specifically, Robin. Robin was running to the stage as if Juan had signed those prenup papers and left them on the table. She was just like, I'm coming, I'm coming. So they get to the chairs, they sit down, they're getting mic'd up and everything. Already, we have technical issues. Robin, she gets her microphone, and she was just like, hello, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Hello, can you hear me? Turn it up. Turn it up. Up some more. Up some more. And I'm just like, oh no, this is not the way we're starting already. But after that, everything went pretty smooth for the most part. Again, it's their first show. It's kind of like their test show. You can't really expect everything to be perfect or everything to go smooth. So you have to have some type of grace with them, right? So I believe, what was the first thing that they started doing? Because I listened to their podcast, like I said, and for the most part, they did everything that they do on their podcast on the show, except for the corny dancing, but we'll get to that. So I believe at some point, Giselle, it was a very, very, very bold move to do because she was just like, okay, so, typically we don't allow this, but we're going to let somebody in the crowd ask us a question. And I'm like, ooh, Giselle, you really want to do that? Like... Maybe take like 10 minutes to really think about what you're about to, ask the crowd. But eventually somebody gets the microphone in the crowd and they're like, okay, so, this question is for Mr. Juan Dixon. Juan, he's in the crowd. Juan, he was hiding. He was trying to hide. He had a hoodie and everything. He was just like this the whole time. Like, no, I'm not here. I'm not really here to support. But then the crowd, the person in the crowd, she was just like, okay, so when's the wedding? And I'm just like, oh no, she did not ask that question. That was probably production in the crowd. That wasn't like a random fan or anything. That was probably one of the producers wanting to know. And if I was Robin, if I was you, I would have been like, okay, stop the show. Security, get that bitch out of here. Get her out. Yeah, that one right there in the red sweater. How dare she have the audacity to embarrass me again? So then Robin, she was just like, it's gonna be pretty. It's stay tuned. Like, Robin is literally Sheree Whitfield 2.0, like Miss Spring, Summer, September. But regardless, that was that. And I believe that they brought Juan up on stage to ask, oh, is it reasonably or shady that, you wake up your spouse, blah, blah, blah. It was cute, right? They usually have a segment like that on their podcast. And then Ashley, she gets on stage. They start doing dancing and everything. Karen, again, being the biggest, like, hater. She was getting her notepad. She was like, oh, I'm not going to have any dancing. I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to do that. Oh, what is this? What is going on? What's that? Blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, okay, if everybody else finds the little show corny or whatever, or lame, let them be lame together. This is their fan base. This is their supporters. If they want to be corny or lame with Giselle and Robin, let them. At least they're having a good time. But, I'm just so curious to see how Karen's show is going to be the next episode, because I believe that's what we're going to watch. But I'm thinking, okay, so everything went pretty okay. I believe Robin said that they made $1,400 out of the whole show, which, again, for the first show is not too much, because they said that they put $10,000 into it, and just to get that back, I mean, again, it was a nice little, show for the meet and greets, right? For the fans and everything. So that was that. So after everything is all said and done, Giselle just couldn't, like, right off the high of just having done this big event that between her and Robin. No, she had to be messy. She was just like, oh, hey, Jacqueline, come over here. I need to talk to you. And I'm like, damn, Giselle, you just had a nice little event with you and Robin. Like, it was a success. And now you want to continue being messy. Like, she just does not stop. So then Mia, she walks away. She's talking to Robin. Giselle's talking to Jacqueline. She was just like, so, me and Mia, your friend, the person that you represent. So we were talking and everything. And, supposedly, like, you two like to shower together or something like that. What's that about? And, like, did she buy you a car or something? Like, what's that about? Like, did Gordon buy you the car? Or was it Mia? Please tell me that. And then as she's talking to her, sleepy Charisse, she just kind of like, crawls her way into the conversation. She just squats in between them like, hey guys, what are we talking about? Oh, just continue. I'm gonna be right here just in the background, okay? And I'm just like, Charisse, go away. Like, just seeing her be so nosy. Like, she's one of those type of friends that, she wants to be cool so badly. Like, she wants to be part of the conversation so badly, but, like, stop, you're not. But, okay, so then Jacqueline, she was just like, oh, wait, what are you talking about? Like, paid for my car? And you could already tell that Jacqueline was already full of shit, because you could tell that by her demeanor and her answer. Like, that she didn't want to say the wrong thing if Mia did not approve it. So then Giselle, she continued on. And again, this is the first time that I'm like, you know what, Giselle, continue pressing the pedal on the questions, because I want to know too. So I'm not mad at you. So Giselle was just like, so Mia also told me that her and Gordon, they like to have sex with other people. They like to sleep around with each other and with other people. And that, she sits back and she watches Gordon do some other people. But have you ever, decided to, hey, put your hand up and say, hey, pick me? And I'm just like, yes, Jacqueline, now have you? So then Jacqueline, the answer to me allegedly was already a hell yes. It was yes, yes, yes. It was written all over her face. But again, she didn't want to say anything wrong because Mia will probably be mad at her. So she was just like, well, that's a question that you need to ask for Mia. And that right there proved that she was guilty of it. Like, yes, you probably did allegedly sleep with Gordon. It's just you don't want that out there for some reason. I mean, you could put everything else out. I mean, honestly, Jacqueline, the most embarrassing thing that you have said this entire show that you've been on is that you have no deodorant on vacation. So I'm pretty sure you fucking Gordon, that still doesn't beat that. So then Mia and what's her name, and Robin, they're talking to the side. They're talking about whatever. So eventually they make their way over to the group. Giselle, she starts asking Mia, so Mia, I just tried to ask Jacqueline, so did you pay for her car? Like, did you pay for her car, or did Gordon? What's that about? And I'm just like, wow, Giselle, like, and Mia, again, you're not going to get the same reaction that you gave to Wendy to Giselle. Like, she's being nosy. You're over here just like, well, I mean, no, the car is in her name. It's in her name. And I'm just like, so you did buy it. So what's that have to do with anything? Robin, she made a good point, even though, she shouldn't be the one talking, because in her confessional, Robin was just like, okay, what does that mean by saying that Jacqueline's car is underneath her name? That doesn't mean anything, because Juan, when he was in the NBA, he would buy everybody cars except me. And it will be underneath their names. So what does that matter? And I'm like, Robin, first of all, what is Juan buying you now? He doesn't even buy you time. But okay, back to Mia. So then Mia was just like, yeah, so that's that. So I mean, like, what about it? So then Giselle, she was just like, oh, so wait a minute. So is he kind of like her sugar daddy? Like, what's going on here? And has he ever decided to kind of sleep with her? Like, what's that about? And I'm like, Giselle, like, whoo. She is so nosy with these messy ass questions. So then Mia, she's looking at Jacqueline like, don't say too much, we're on camera, you know? And she was just like, well, first of all, like, what, Jacqueline, like, messing with my husband? Like, well, me and Jacqueline, we need to talk about that, and we need to go over our notes first before I answer anything, you know? But, like, nah, like, she would never do that, like, at all. And I'm just like, oh, so the answer is a yes. And if y'all saw the preview for next week's episode, yeah, again, it's very obvious that all three of them have a thing going on, and it's completely okay. You know, it's just, we're just being nosy about it. So then Mia, eventually, I believe she kind of said, oh yeah, Gordon didn't buy her the car. He has no money. He's broke. And that right there, Mia, you should have never said that, because those words right there, they're gonna come back to bite her in the ass at one point. Like, that's gonna be brought up in conversation later on, because why would she say that about her own husband? Like, and to Giselle of all people, like, that is terrible. So I don't know. So that was that. They kind of left it off at that. I believe Charisse tried to give her 2 cents in, as if anybody was asking for her, but that was that. And then the preview for the next episode, did y'all see Deborah? She is getting dragged currently online. She said something on the lines of, not only was Chris, Candace's husband, trying to flirt with her at the party, but also Eddie, Wendy's husband. With that being said, everybody, happy holidays. Happy holidays. I hope everybody is staying safe, and we shall talk soon. Let me know what you all thought about this whole entire episode down in the comments. Bye, everybody. Mwah.